Hello everybody out there, welcome to episode 97 of the Indie Comic Book Review. 3 episodes away from 100, 3 episodes away from its immunity being broken right now. The Indie Review is immune to any of the changes going on this channel over the next couple of weeks at least, until it reaches 100. We're already at 97. When 300 happened, we were at 95. For 5 more episodes, I didn't want to cut the Indie Review short, so we will be hitting 100. And then the Indie Review will be following the exact same rules or new format that we've set up for this channel. Things are already changing on this channel, and slowly but surely more and more changes are happening. Hopefully by this time, 2 months from now, all the changes will be in effect. All the new series will have started. Again, a lot of the series are here and there. Some of them are going to be weekly, some of them are going to be bi-weekly, some of them are going to be once a month. Who knows? But right now, we're slowly gearing things up on this channel. We're slowly building things up. We're having a great time doing it. We're really excited, and I hope you guys are excited too. So let's waste no time. This week, the books were released on
August 12th, 2015.
And we have a nice amount of books. We got 11. This was a very light week.
Not for me with the books.
Well, basically, I only have 2 books, and both of them are... No, 3 books. 1 physical, 2 digital. So,
wait, you mean 2 physical?
2 physical, 1 digital.
1 digital.
Okay, fine, we're good.
Opposites mixed
I'm
up.
opposite.
Stop
so
hurting yourself.
I'm fine. Okay, so here we go.
Let's start with some Archie comic books. Sonic the Hedgehog, issue number 275. This is part 11 of 12 of Worlds Unite. And this one, oh man, this comic book was really just amazing. We got the whole team together. They're going up against Sigma. I just love the artwork. It is by far just really been amazing, and it has been for all the Worlds Unite. And it's really just them going up against Sigma. We also get Sigma's new form in this book. Since Sigma went through 2 stages, we get Sigma in his 3rd stage of Evil Incarnate, which makes him more powerful than the other stages that he was in before. And he just gets very, very strong, but then in the end, and I called it and I knew it, the Chaos Emeralds, we got Supersonic, and also the Super Armor Mega Man, who will be fighting off against Sigma 3 in Mega Man issue number 52 next time. Now, there was a second story of this, and I was like saying, wait a minute, I think I've read this before, and I have, because this is issue 0 of the prelude to Worlds Unite.
Yes, but, and I agreed with what you told me before this, that it's a plus and a minus at the same time. It's a plus because anybody who missed out on issue 0 during Free Comic Book Day, now you have the issue. It's here, and yes, you paid $5 for this Sonic book, but you have the 0 through 12.
But it makes sense, though, because there's a new comic coming out called Silver Age. Which is basically
and Silver was in issue 0, right.
Right, so in a way it's a good and bad, but it's good that everybody
now
it's
a minus. It's a minus if you owned issue 0 already, but it's a plus if you didn't own it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, it is really setting up for the next story arc also.
Age,
so it's kind of a reminder, hey, don't forget that right before the crossover happened, we mentioned this and we set that up.
And by the way, this is a variant cover. Only 1 more cover left until we complete the whole thing, and hopefully I'll be able to take all the pictures.
I've been holding off on putting the books away to
good, because I want to take a picture of all of them, and
next week will be the last book. And we did get the, I will spoil that we did get the poster cover for
next week.
So we've got the full thing. I honestly wanted to get 2 covers because next week the regular cover was really good also.
Well,
but one cover, a cover's a cover, and you never know, right?
So let's see.
Now the first issue, accidentally, but it worked out, was on the Dark Avenger comic book review. So if you want to go back to last month, you'll find issue 1 there. But issue 2 through 6 will be on this review, or actually, this issue will be on the review. Starting when the next issue comes out, there'll be solo reviews. I'm wasting time. Issue 2 of Green Lantern Star Trek's crossover. In the first issue, Gantha apparently dies. He goes into the Star Trek, or he sends himself into an alternate universe, which is the Star Trek universe, and he sends one of each ring, except the black and white ring, with him. And the Enterprise finds him, takes him and the rings on board. The rings activate and they choose host, both good and bad. And that's really, it ended with Hal Jordan approaching the Enterprise, or saving the Enterprise because their engines or something that was failing. In this issue, it opens up with, what was his name? The Chang actually getting the yellow ring and I guess just hosting it, while while the other members of the Enterprise are slowly coming into it. Chekhov, it becomes a Blue Lantern. Uhura becomes a Star Sapphire. And Bones, later on we find out, is part of the Indigo tribe. So Chang attacks the Enterprise, and we also find out who the red and orange lantern rings choose. I won't spoil that here because really I feel like they're chosen and Hal feels it, but it doesn't go further than that with this issue. So Chekhov using the blue lantern ring. Chekhov really quickly learns and adapts to having a ring and uses it against Chang, and then they don't run away like what Hal feels like they're doing. They kind of choose the peaceful way out, so they leave. So Hal comes on the ship. He wants to know why they have Gantha's body and why they have rings. Then it goes to the ending, which is awesome. It has Chang returning to his world and basically taking over as wanting to be like king. However, there's one person that says, I want to get the right quote. I mean, I'm sure everybody saw this coming with the cover and all, but I don't want to spoil too much. But there's only one person that gives orders around here, and that's where it's left off.
How did I know?
Really good. Excellent. And I love how the dialogue between Kirk and Hal Jordan is like, Hal Jordan explains the Green Lantern Corps. He's like, what's a Green Lantern Corps? And Kirk is like, we're part of Starfleet. And Hal's like, what's a Starfleet? So it's kind of a back.
Wow.
Really good, though. I like the artwork. This is the subscription variant. I believe it's cover B.
Yeah.
There's a lot of covers that are going with this. IDW is doing an excellent job with the Star Trek Green Lantern crossover. I'm even more excited for Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and hopefully this opens up the door for a lot more crossovers in the future.
Alright. Next book is mine, and it's Image of the Walking Dead, issue number 145. In this book, Michonne, after finding out in the last issue that Ezekiel died, she just completely flipped the lid. Like not leave the team or anything, like she just changed her personality. And I could pretty much understand.
I have a book that thinks a lot of things change. We'll get into that.
I mean, I could pretty much understand, you know, her feelings and everything, and just, you know, like snapping a little bit, but she's just thinking that, you know, all this was her fault and that there's something just wrong with all of them and stuff like that. And, you know, she just, well, there's some artwork basically for like black and white, which is fine. And, you know, she just tries to talk with Rick, and, you know, she's just saying to Rick, you know, we have to go after the girl, the woman who did this, which was Alpha's team, and just saying, you know, like everyone's trying to convince Rick that we have to kill. And Rick just doesn't want to do that because
he's at peace for 2 years.
Right, because after the whole all-out war, you know, but then he's like saying, you know what, I gotta say something. Even though it could turn everyone against me, this could ruin everything. So I already could tell where this book's going. And then meanwhile, we have also the other side of the story where, oh God, what's his name? Where, like Maggie tells the guy Rosetta's missing. I can't remember what his name is. But then Rick just said to me, just saying, you know, 12 of our people gone missing, but I'm afraid I have terrible news. And I know what he is going to say right after
the
that.
next cover. Let me just see. Oh, no, that wasn't the cover.
No.
There's a cover.
And I have a funny feeling I know what's going to come out of his mouth. We are going to have to kill again. I could predict it, and I could tell it, because, you know, they're just saying to Rick, we must kill again. Because
it's not we must kill. We have to defend our place.
But what does it involve? killing the woman who killed their team. You know,
it involves killing, but I don't think he's going to say it like that. He'll probably say, you know, in order to remain a peaceful, you know, to stay safe. How is mine next? What are the next two? Just out of curiosity.
I put them all together this time.
I love this cover. I will say that. This character makes a very brief appearance in this book, by the way. It's Grimm Fairy Tales 113. Now, there's going to be a reason why I'm going to really abstain from a lot of spoilers here. Because, well, some things I don't have to worry about spoiling because a lot of it involves... This is Sky's inner dialogue. Summer vacation happened between issue 112 and 113. Sky sort of made a name for herself during the summer as the... Oh, I will say this because it's in the beginning of the book and I believe it was in the previews also. She made herself known as the Shadow Girl. So she, like her mom, has gone around trying to keep the peace in the world. But now year 2 is about to start at Arcane Acre. One of the funniest things is Wigloff, I believe his name is, he joins the students. Another guy comes in from Wonderland called Lance. Violet's gone. Violet has left, and Lance basically has taken her place from Wonderland. Wigloff we saw at the end of the last story arc. He came in with Wolf. Wolf is back. Haley is very much dead and still. And basically it's just a whole introduction of welcome back to year 2. An introduction, like I said, to Lance. And there's also, like I said, there's a brief appearance of another, oh God, why is that name completely leaving? Highborn, who is apparently able to raise the dead and control them. Obviously we'll be seeing more of her later on in the series. So the second year starts and Sky is explaining, now you talked about difference, Sky is explaining how last year when the first year started, Wolf and Ali were like the worst of enemies, but now they're the best of friends. Ali had eyes for her, you know, she could tell that he loved her or he had feelings for her. Now he won't even look at her anymore. Violet went crazy. A lot of things happened. Like, she recaps it all here, and then we move forward with there being something very interesting with Lance, possibly. We find out something that's going on in Sky's mind, as well as Ali has definitely changed as well. Read the book to find out how there, but let's just say that the thing that was released in the end of issue 112 is on a lot of people's minds, and obviously will be playing very heavily into year 2. Patrick Chan has done an excellent job with the first year of Arcane Acre and is doing a stellar job introducing us to year 2. And by the time New York Comic Con happens, I definitely, absolutely will have a lot of questions for him with Grimm Fairy Tales. Mike's got a lot of questions for him with Robin Hood.
Oh yeah, I do.
The only book that unfortunately we dropped, and that's just because we don't really, I'm not invested in the Charmed universe. That is the only book that I've dropped, and it's not because of Pat Chan, it's because I've just not read Charmed. I've not watched the series. I jumped on because Pat was there, and Pat was doing an excellent job. It's not the writing, it was the characters, and just the story itself just did not hold me. But Grimm Fairy Tales has been great, and very soon things are going to be changing with me, and I hope to get into the newer series. I'm also doing Aliens vs. Zombies right now, which is really awesome. Zenescope has a lot of really great stuff going on, and very little negative to nothing, practically negative, I could say about Zenescope series. The only thing I could say is Realm War should have happened a year ago because we already know and have gone a year further.
Well, Realm War issue 1 did start almost a year ago.
You know, 2 years ago it should have happened.
Oh, you mean
during
that?
the dark period.
Okay, I thought you meant...
So it's a great series, but it happened a year too late, I feel. I feel like we've already gone through a year after it, so now we're going further. It's still excellent.
Yes,
it's still very
Yeah,
excellent.
I can't wait for next month. Okay, we have Wonderland issue number 38. This is part 2 of Retribution. And I must say, though, in this Wonderland comic book, really focuses a lot on, you know, what's his name now, if I could remember. Like the knight goes to the cell to talk to the woman with that had the mechanical hand that basically could do lots of stuff, and like they have just a not wrong, like a long conversation about the White Queen and you know, just basically, and about the Impassin, basically. And the Impassin was basically about this gang of chess pieces, so to say, where one ruled over the other, and then the magic from the world, and yada yada yada. With basically, it was talking more about killing and chess pieces. But here's some artwork that I wanted to show you guys, because the other page was a little bit graphic, where Callie's going to meet up with Drew, and Drew has been possessed with I can't remember what the Red Shadow's name is. I think it's Red Shadow, and he just goes like really just all over the place, and then she's just like she's not trying to kill him or anything. Like she's trying just to calm him down, so to say. And Cheshire. Why do I always get it wrong? Goes to this little boy and just takes him out of the house and saying that he wants to basically get him away from the father who has been doing lots of killing. And I think it's Nightmare, the name is. But yeah, that was just like a really graphic scene. And then we get into where his son is with Cheshire, along with the father who was in the hospital. But then when he gets taken into this other world with the Red Rabbit, he gets embroidered with something, which is going to play a lot. And I am not going to spoil it because I want you guys to definitely read the book. So this was really good. I'm definitely going to look into the next issue to see how this all plays out. But I did leave out a bunch of stuff because I want you guys to definitely read it. Now, between this and this other, and World Unite, this is probably going to be my book of the week I have to think about first to mention on Frontline Live.
To be honest, this series has been excellent. I fell behind on it. With this, I probably can jump back on because it's a new story arc.
Oh yeah, Exo Manowar issue number 39. This is Exodus Part 1. This is the issue after Arak married Sana.
One thing I want to mention is, starting next month, you know, I said Comic Book Corner is coming back. That's not limited to just me. Michael could be a part of it also. We are really invested with EXO. At some point, we do want to trade paperback our way up to issue 38, which was The Wedding.
Well, yeah, but...
At some point. So yeah, as we move forward, slowly we'll be getting, the trade paperbacks. Maybe Michael, because we didn't review it from the very beginning. Maybe we'll trade paperback our way up to where we are now and do a trade paperback review on that. There's lots of stuff. There's another trade paperback series that I'm working on also, but just wanted to mention that we are really huge fans of EXO. EXO is our favorite Valiant book right now.
Which is written by Robert Venditti,
who also does Green Lantern, but excellent story each and every month. We love EXO. He's like #1. He's the one book when I see you from Valiant that I have to at least look through. Now that it's on a new story arc finally, I feel like I can jump back on.
But basically it starts off where he gets in his Exo Manowar suit, and he sees that a Vine colonial ship has appeared with the Vine family, which are the aliens who want to, have their homeland on his land. And, he tries to talk to them about it. Meanwhile, Lady Colonel wants to attack the unknown spaceships that came, and then Arak says, there's no need for all these vessels. And this one guy, Nick, in the squadron, he's like saying, I see from Los Angeles there were 4 aliens, so many, and he just starts to shoot at them. And then Arak's saying, like, what the hell, I told you, just not to shoot at them. And then, yeah, he just goes nuts. And then there's just like a whole big explosion that happens when he sends multiple amounts of missiles. Multiple amounts of missiles. And then they try to aid to them, and then the Vine's like saying, you know what, they're shooting at us, then we're going to fight back. And Arak's saying, I don't want this to go any further. And he's like, well, Arak, if you don't want it to go further, tell them that. And that's where the whole thing of them, like Arak's people versus
It's not Arak's people. It's the aliens that enslaved Arak who want peace. Finally.
But they want peace on the land, and then them coming to attack because of like wrong information. That one guy.
This is gonna really it's gonna set EXO in a different place after this story arc.
But like I said, I can't decide between World Unite or this to be Book of the Week because
World Unite really
is just really amazing. You know, I just have to figure it out when we get to Frontline Live this Tuesday at 9 Eastern Time.
On not Twitch, on Google Plus. It has been moved back to Google Plus for a little bit longer, and it'll be explained why later. Okay. Just remember that.
So we're going
digitally. We got 11 digitals, and we're starting with a conclusion. Bill and Ted's Triumphant Return, issue 6 of 6.
And I really hope that they come back with another issue because I really enjoyed these issues. But what it talks about here is that Nicholas, I think his name was, you know, the Bill and Ted with the big robots as wild stalkins, I think the name is, are just trying to tell, you know, everybody that, you know, this is a guitar, this is rock and roll, because they don't know what any rock music is because he, as a new ruler, stopped them from, you know, enjoying or learning anything, really. So, he tries to kill Bill and Ted, and thanks to someone who saved them, they actually Bill and Ted got their victory along with Death's help with bringing back rock and roll and trying to go back in time. Bill and Ted going back to the past, telling the past Bill and Ted, you know, don't give D. Nicholas a chance to write music because then that happens. And then they go back to their home in present time. And then everything just turns out to be okay, you know. D. Nicholas tries to learn a little bit about instruments and not really much about killing Bill and Ted. And then we get these two new characters, because I believe this is the second story. Yeah, this is the second story, where these two new characters are into rock and roll and everything else about that. And the artwork was a little bit okay. The first story was great, by the way. And, yeah, things just get very chaotic, along with the phone booth that was used a lot with that. But the ending part was kind of funny. They were, like, all rock and roll, and now they're all doing that.
Washed up, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, you guys should definitely get the trade paperback. I mean, it's rock and roll, Bill and Ted, really amazing. Just, I give it between a 4 to 5 star rating of this book.
Now, 2 books, we missed the second book, which came out last month, and the third book came out last week, but because we figured out we missed one, we pushed it to this week. So we have 2 books, Broken World issue 2 and 3, back to back. Mike's gonna be reviewing them. We missed issue 2, and we had issue 3 last week, but Mike needed issue 2, so he needed more time before he could review them. So let's start with issue 2 and work our way to issue 3.
So in issue number 2, it's where Elena's dealing with the fact that her husband and her son are gone after that whole rocket ship went off. And she's going through hard times and just saying, you know, I know you're out there and I'm going to try every which way to bring you back and to see you again. And she goes to these other people to try to tell them, you know, what she's trying to do. And it actually affected other people with the whole thing that happened in the last issue. And there's the colonel, I believe, that, or the sergeant, who sees that she actually still there and just saying, you know, well, let's be the welcome wagon and say hello, and you know how she feels about them, you know, after they were the ones responsible for her missing that rocket ship.
Right.
And all that.
Now we're on issue 3.
Now we're on issue 3. And in issue 3, I could just try to sum this up in like a couple sentences, is where Elena goes to meet up with the sergeant on the first page, and then she tries to tell him, you know, about how she feels about what's been going on, and you know, she's just trying to get some answers about how to find her family again, and because she wants them back, like I said from what we saw in the last issue. And there's just like a whole bunch of dialogue, and he's just saying, you know, there's someone else that you should go talk to after they had their talk about, their whole base and everything, and what he defines his base as. So he goes to talk with Grace, I think, and then this guy, I'm trying to remember what his name is. Basically, she doesn't like him because he said to her, like, you know, you almost got me killed with all these shenanigans and everything, and you're at fault with my kid and husband being left behind. So he's just trying to, you know, tell her like a bunch of things to try to be nice, but he actually found a way to communicate with them. Oh, it's up further. No, down. The name. Down. Like right there. Fletcher, his name was. That almost got her killed. But he actually wanted to make peace with her, saying, I have another way of getting communications with them, so maybe we could get something. But Elena actually thinks that she found an answer to this box of Ted, who actually has something for her, but she has a gun pointed to him, like saying, you know, I think we're going to make time to see what's in that box and everything that could basically result into anything. So Broken World, it's really turning out to be a really amazing and interesting issue, and I'll definitely come back for issue number 4 when that comes out, but it's really amazing, and I definitely would recommend you guys to check it out.
Again, second issue of Vampirella Vampirella Army of Darkness, and again, a very quick read.
This is issue 2.
This is issue 2.
Oh, okay, I didn't know if you said that.
It was another very quick read. The dialogue was very short. I came into this, I thought I had forgotten to read it, and I had to read it right before this review, and I finished it in less than 10 minutes, maybe. Very little dialogue. Vampirella is this demon-like creature right now, and she thinks it's Ash's fault, so she's attacking him. He's trying to kill her and failing epically. There's a scene where he's in a kitchen, and for 1, 2, 3-ish pages, all he's doing is tossing stuff at her until she grabs him and they fly off into the sunset. And then she explains to him that she believes it's him that brought her there and that changed her into the monster, because apparently in the last issue when he was drunk and he said Klatos Varar Necto,
You mean Klatus Varadas.
Whatever. It brought Vampirella to that world and changed her. So, finding the page in the book that apparently had the witchcraft to it, feeding it to her. Yes, I understand. Thank you. We'll switch over in a second. Feeding it to her changed her back into her normal form, but now Arnold and the others want her killed or put on trial because they believe her to be a witch, and we all know Vampirella is a vampire.
But yeah.
So Ash, she knows something's coming, and she said she'll help them fight the Deadites. Ash, they still don't care. They want to kill her anyway, and they say we'll figure it out later. But Ash is actually defending her, saying we shouldn't. She knows something's coming. She can help us. We can't kill her, so they say fine. We'll put her on trial, and you're going to defend her. And you see Sheila in the background, and she doesn't look too happy.
No, not at all.
So really excited to see where things go here. But again, a very quick read. Hopefully there'll be a little bit more to read next time. But anyway, give us just 2 seconds, guys, and we will be back with the rest of the books for this week's Indie Review. Alright, and we're back with Justice Inc., The Avenger, issue number 3.
Let me just get that. The adventure of Benson continues. And really, when I read this book, I felt like I was reading a book, basically, with some inner dialogue. There was dialogue, but mostly the whole book was inner dialogue, where he's fighting against these animals who have these strange powers, from what we saw from last issue with that whole red thing that was going on and spreading around and all that. So he's just investigating, finding out more about that, and there are a bunch of other stuff that that Benson, I think it's Henry Benson, I don't know, but I'm just going to call him Benson because that's what they call him, wants to find out. So he's looking into this investigation, you know, with his form of, you know, what he is and everything, and to find out answers about how and why that this affected animals as well, or how this could not spread. So we learn more about this red thing that's been spreading around and the origin of actually how they became to be. And the way they became to be is very, very graphic in this book. I mean really graphic. You might want to shield your eyes when you see some of these stuff. It was great artwork, by the way, and it actually builds up more of an understanding of how and why these red things became to be. I just can't remember what they're called, but they're basically another form of death. Let's just put it that way. And one of the doctors is actually going to check out more about this thing and everything. But yeah, it was something else. But it felt like I was reading a book with more of the inner dialogue. But it was okay. So I'll come back for the next issue because now that I know about what this red thing was all about, I want to find out how they're going to drag it out even more in an interesting way, or hopefully an interesting way, and lead it to not a less interesting way.
Mandrake the Magician from King Dynamite issue number 3. How was this, Mike?
Mandrake the Magician was pretty okay. Like, what it talks about here is that he has these magicianal powers and everything. And he goes to this woman who is, I forgot what her name is, but he wants to fight, wait, go up. He wants to fight off against, oh, he said it a million times.
Akron? Contain Akron?
Yeah, I think it's Akron, who is a big red devil, and he wants to fight off against him, and he's all powerful and everything, and he doesn't know how he could come about this. Then we get Cobra, who talks with this demonic entity that's in this jar, and the way it's influenced in that is like really bad, you know, to the character. But and there are lots of other dialogues. Definitely read the book to find out. But the way that he just wants to kill the archer, and I believe it was named something else. I don't know why it's telling me that, but he just wants to find out the magic of how to do it. So the woman's just saying, you know, just follow me, and then we'll try to find some magic for you to defeat him. But Cobra, I believe, is going to make more of a standing in the way of his plans of doing that. And that's going to be concluded in the next issue. There are lots of stuff that I left out because this comic book was really good, and I want you guys to definitely check this out if you're interested.
Alright, we got Mask 2, issue number 5.
Yes, and last time in Max 2, we have our heroes that has been spread into different worlds thanks to the Red Death, I'm going to say. I don't know if that's the name, or Red Shadow, I don't know. Like, it's something red. But anyway, the first one starts off with the dinosaurs, and they're trying to find their ways, whereas the spider at the masquerade party is trying to find out, you know, it's really, throughout these 3 worlds, it's Red Death, that's what the name is. It's giving the life story about Red Death, what she's been through, and them playing the role of Red Death, whether it be at the dinosaur times, or the masquerade party, or at the third one where the Shadow's in, because he's still with the whole the Shadow knows all. There is, however, a big ironic thing that happens in the end of the book, and I think it has something to do with Red Death's possession. They do meet with the spider in, I believe, the dinosaur world, but then the spider's like saying, I don't know you people, because I've been here all this time, so... But look at the hat. I want you to look at the hat very carefully. Now, I don't think the spider had that symbol on the hat, because I'm just realizing that right now, actually.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he does? Oh, I didn't notice it, probably. Well, I think it has something to do with Red Death's possession of saying that might not be the real spider, because, like, saying, I've been here the whole time, so I don't know who you guys are or what you're talking about, but that's where I've been. Oh, yeah, and the third world where the Shadow was with the whole chaotic city happened. I think it was New York, basically, that they were in for that world. But really interesting about the Red Death, and definitely something for you guys to check out. But how they're gonna meet up with each other again in their same present world, that's gonna be for issues more.
I feel like we saw this before. King Tiger, issue number 1 of 4.
Yeah, I've seen it in the preview books actually, and I don't know, like it's kind of interesting. Like talks about Milo, who is known as the King Tiger, who is basically working with this guy who wants to help him out with all these. Like there's been a kidnapping of this woman and everyone else. Well, one of the guys who was actually with them, but it was mostly kidnapping women. But one of his men was kidnapped as well and being held for an execution for power and stuff like that. So Milo, or Kylo, is it Kylo or Milo? I think it's Kylo, maybe. I know it's ILO. I know it's one of them, but I don't know if it begins with a K or an M. Either way, he wants to go off and try to save them from after he gets the call of the mission. So he actually goes off to Milo, yeah. Oh no, unless the guy's name is that. I don't know. Anyway, so they go off in this.
Milo's the other guy.
Oh, I don't know who the other is. Alright, well, Milo's the guy that King Tiger works with. We'll just call him King Tiger, basically, because he's basically all about, you know, being with magic and stuff. So he meets up with the people who are being held hostage and everything, and there's like a whole big thing that's happening where each of them are getting killed, and, well, let's just say that they should really start to drive off because there is a big, huge energy that comes into play. And I don't think that either someone's going to have to think of something to get rid of it, because what came out of it seems to be a little bit indestructible. A group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And things are about to get weird in the next issue. I'll check it out to see how it goes, but if it doesn't fulfill me, then I'm gonna have to drop it.
Yeah. Now, with IDW, I love when they put their advertisements at the end of their books, and this was one of them. And I was interested in your thoughts on BoyOne issue 1.
Yeah, BoyOne is basically a book about them making robots, human cloning, basically, into robots. And that's really like the basis of the whole book. Like, there's lots of dialogue about the whole origin of how there should be human cloning and that they got rights to human cloning. And I think it was human cloning because I saw a bunch of robot stuff. So maybe that's what that's why I got mixed up. So they saw something that they have to go to Kennedy. Just go up. I just want to make sure I get this right. Something Kennedy Street, I think. No, up. Yeah, right there. 46th Avenue and Kennedy Street, because there was a whole big thing that was left on a data chip, and he goes there to see what's happening. So when he goes there, he gets like choked by somebody, and we don't know who, basically. And I don't know if that's the clone of the main character, but I really think that's interesting with the human cloning, because I like how it's going to probably come into play about maybe there might be a war that's going to be happening, but it's really just they got the rights to clone humans, and it just gets into a whole bunch of other stuff. You're going to have to read the book, but I thought it was pretty interesting with the whole human cloning, like I said before.
Alright, The Shrinking Man issue number 2.
Yes, and The Shrinking Man issue number 2, you know, this main character, if I could get his name, because I forgot his name, you feel bad for him, because he's shrinking even more, and there was actually a newspaper that I saw of the terrible memory about shrinking that he actually found out himself. He encounters with the spider, actually, which he actually gets through very nicely. And you know, he's just saying, you know, I'm growing smaller and smaller and I don't like this. So he meets up with this guy who I don't really trust, really, because he's just saying, oh, wait, go up a little bit. And he kept just saying, you know, if you live around here, around town and everything, you know, it kind of got annoying to me a little bit when he kept repeating himself over and over and over again. And they have a bunch of, like a long conversation about his state of being shrunken to little bit size and stuff like that. And he's just trying to get up those stairs, like saying, you know, you're not going to beat me stairs, I'm going to get up there if it's the last thing I do. And, you know, just trying to get through with people not seeing him and trying not to get stepped on along with the cat. It's just, you know, you can't help but to feel bad for this character. I think Russ. Oh no, not that one. That was the cat. Keep going down. 'Cause I really am so with these names. I don't know why. No, Scott's the son.
Well, Beth is the baby.
Well, so is it Scott? You're going too fast.
Scott's the father.
Yeah, Scott's the father. Okay, so Scott's the father of, and the guy who's shrinking, and he encounters with these thugs who thinks that he's a kid, but they know him as the shrinking man as the issue continues, and they just want to make a big example out of him and see if everything is really shrunken. So, you know, you want to go in this book, and that's what I felt like. I felt like I want to go in this book and help this guy, Scott.
I don't know, I kind of get taken out of all of this.
No, because you feel bad for him, you know, and I don't you really feel like you
I
just
feel horrible for him, but
book?
I feel like he's abused.
He's being abused. You want to go in to help him, you know, to just say, hey, I could see you in my hand, you know, I'm going to make sure you get places.
Alright.
You know?
Last book is Unity 21.
Oh, yes, and this chick means business. I mean, wait, go up. I'm trying to get her name. Because, I'm trying to get the name. Well, anyway, the one that's been killing everybody basically in the book, she's just really just,
Cindy?
I think Cindy. Let's go with that then. She's really sadistic. I mean, during the Cold War, she was with the Russians and then killed the American people who were around her and everything because she was known to be a Russian spy. And a warmonger is her name, thank you. Warmonger encounters with these new group of people who are trying to take her out because of the killing of the American heroes. And they try to do it, and then of course they fail. So she actually has a talk with Gilead, I think, or the Eternal Warrior, basically, about when she's been kidnapped and that she was woken up 4 years later into the Vietnam War, where she actually got her whole anger of killing even more worse in killing. And we get a little bit of Bloodshot, who makes an appearance during the Vietnam War with other people. And Bloodshot actually looks good in that, with being a mustache in that state. And basically, she's just like immortal. And she's just killing each of these people one by one. And she tried to get the Eternal Warrior on the pirate ship, or whatever ship that they were on. But, it's just, she just gets every one of them one by one. So, Warmonger, I hope she gets something to her in the end. Because there's going to be somebody that's going to stop this chick. Because she's going around not only killing Ninjak, Livewire, Ginger, and
yeah, she basically destroyed Unity, so now she wants to start World War III.
Exactly. There's going to be someone that's going to stop her. And I hope one of those people that come in this book, I'm hoping it's Eric. Because I don't think we saw him yet. Because we saw Bloodshot, who was gone from the Vietnam War. after that whole killing thing. If Eric comes in, I hope he just puts her in her place, because he's just the only one that's left, I believe, or Harbinger. I don't think Harbinger came in yet.
I don't think they did either yet.
Well, still, really amazing book. I'm just hoping that she's to be stopped, or else the Unity and all the teams are going to go bye-bye, and then World War III happens.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Let's hope it doesn't.
But what is happening is that is the end of this indie comic book review. 3 more reviews to go, and then the indie comic books are released from their immunity, and the changes will be in full swing by then.
Yep.
But while we're waiting, don't forget to check out all the other awesome content we will be slowly adding to this channel and molding on this channel. And also, don't forget to check out some of the other places you can check us out at, which are comicfrontline.com and zone4podcast.com. We are aiming to be your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. And while you're at it, don't forget to swing over to Frontline Gaming Zone, where we do all of our recreational gaming. And at some point, very soon, we will definitely be building up on the game walkthroughs and stuff like that on YouTube and Twitch. Till then, though, guys, as always, feel free to leave comments below. Likes, dislikes, agrees, disagrees, recommendations for future series.
Yep.
Really soon, all this is going to be recapped in just one video, the weekly recap, which will be a very short video. But anyway, till then, take care, everybody. Keep reading, keep collecting. The Big 2 review is coming next. We are still doing the Big 2 reviews for another couple of weeks till things start changing up. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night or tomorrow morning, because this will be up on Sunday morning and the other one will be up Monday morning. We'll see you on Monday morning with the Big 2 comic review. Yep. So see you guys there.
Later, guys.